Now recently I did a video on toning your canvas and why it's important, and I gave 5 reasons and a bonus tip as well. And that proved quite popular with many of you, and I received many requests to make a video about what colors to use, how to choose the best canvas toning color for any subject. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to look at toning colors for landscapes, seascapes, and portraits. So choosing a canvas tone is not a random step. The color you use underneath can help the painting sing, or it can make life difficult from the start. I rarely use yellow or yellow ochre because once blue goes over it, you can end up with dull, sickly greens. So colors do matter. So what colors work best and for which subjects? My own favorites are usually a cool red or burnt sienna. They work especially well for landscapes because they help manage the greens. They also add a bit of spark when they show through, and generally they don't interfere with the painting. And they help me to judge the values nicely as well. But overall, the tone should do 3 things. Remove the harsh white of the canvas, help you to judge the values more accurately, and create an overall harmony across the painting. After that, the specific color depends on the subject, the mood, and how much of the tone you expect to show through. That's something important to think about. As I said, my preferred choice is a cool red or burnt sienna. Creates a bit of a vibration with that complementary color, and of course green and red are very strong colors to combine. So if you paint loosely and allow broken color to show through here or there, that's a good option. Burnt sienna, probably one of the most dependable toning colors, and you probably find you're going to be using that quite a lot. And it suits landscapes for obvious reasons. And having some of that showing through, perhaps on some yellow grass, for instance, and you've got a few patches of burnt sienna showing through, well, it all works. It gets rid of the white canvas very well, helps you to really get some nice sky colors as well, vibrant sky color. Other popular choices, burnt umber, that's another one that gives a darker and deeper earth tone. Many artists like it because it establishes a very strong mid to dark base right from the start. And it's excellent if you want to key the painting, key the values lower, get a more moody landscape, storm scenes, interiors, even portraits as well. The caution is that if it is too dark or too thick, it can make it harder to keep the painting luminous. So I'd use it fairly thinly and in those sort of limited subject ranges. Also raw umber. That's quite popular, especially traditional painting styles. It's a bit cooler, more subdued than the burnt sienna. Gives a more neutral, understated start. Can help to unify everything. It's quite pleasant for portraits, figure studies, a more cooler, restrained atmosphere, perhaps a still life painting as well. You also can use a neutral grey, and that's used quite often by painters who just don't want something that's going to intrude, but gets rid of the white and helps them to judge their values. So basically it's a middle value, and you can mix up a grey with a few complementary colors and white. Make it a bit warmer if you want, or a bit cooler. Maybe seascapes or an overcast day, you could cool that down a bit with a touch more blue. Also urban scenes that have that sort of cooler, concrete and all of that sort of thing, have that sort of cooler or moodier or contemporary feel to it. I think though that the neutrals may not give the sparkle or energy you want from a landscape, so I don't use that too often. For seascapes and cool atmospheric subjects, lean towards the blue grays and cool neutrals. You won't really go wrong with that. So you're always trying to sort of match the overall mood of a subject, and this could be also the part of the world you're living in, the climate. Perhaps a more sort of, let's say, Scandinavian landscape is going to have a completely different vibe than where I am in Africa, and we're getting that yellow light. So the harmonies are different, and the tone can help set that off. Another popular one is transparent oxide red or reddish brown. A transparent oxide red is very popular in portraiture and figurative painting. It gives flesh tones a natural warmth, and I think it will help unify the entire painting, the shadows as well, and just give your sitter, your portrait sitter, a bit more of a flattering start to the painting. And these tones have been around for a long time through the old masters as well. So colors to avoid, I hinted at a few of those. Generally yellow ochres or yellow based tones, because they work very badly with blue, and your blue sky could look a little sickly. Rather add yellow ochre to a bit of white or something like that and bring it into your clouds if you want to. So add it in, but don't use it as a tone where you've got to paint over it and find you are fighting to get rid of that tone. So by now you've probably realized that if you want a bit of energy and sparkle, a cool red is going to be good. If you want warmth, burnt sienna, and if you want darker or moodier, try burnt umber, and the neutrals and cool grays for overcast conditions, seascapes. Maybe you want to go a little bit crazy sometimes, perhaps for a seascape that has rock pools and transparent water. I'll use phthalo green and put that down, and then go over it once it's dried down a bit with more layers to get a more luminous depth to it. You can then put some sparkle on top of that to suggest reflections. You can use dark shapes, maybe a little bit of green and alizarin crimson to suggest rocks underneath the water as well. Basically, experiment and see if you can build up some transparent layers and really get that sense of depth. It might be a bit risky, but it might pay off very well too. So in closing, the best canvas tone depends on the subject and also the color that you are familiar with and trust and are happy to use. It's part of your process. It's not the be-all and end-all, and it mustn't get in your way. So if you got your preferences, well, you're going to stick to those, and maybe occasionally you'll take a chance with something else. You can even cover part of your canvas with one color and another color for the rest of it, and have a sort of a rainbow effect of colors, and see what little surprises that can provide. But I've given you my staple colors, and I think now you have a pretty good understanding of what tone colors are going to be used for what subject. Remember, it's all about being practical and helping you have fun with your painting. Well, if this was useful, please give the video a like. Make sure you've subscribed to this channel, because I'm going to try to give you a lot more useful videos as well. So if there's subjects you want to hear more about, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to get your subscription to the Create Art magazine. It's entirely free, and the link is below in the description. And the next edition coming out in July. You don't want to miss that. In the meantime, you can subscribe right now and you'll get a link to all of the archives. Plenty to read and keep you inspired. And over here, I've got a link to a free training on my painting school. So lots of painting to do. And with that, I want to wish you happy painting, and cheers for now.